Hello, sports fans, and welcome to the Scott Sports 101 Thursday Night Football postgame show. Thursday night, Debo Samuel didn't hesitate when he was asked uh, what was working for the San Francisco 49ers. Brock Purdy, Samuel said, Purdy threw for 255 yards and three touchdowns, and the Niners never trailed in a 36 to 24 victory over the Seattle Seahawks on Thursday night. Uh, Samuel had a 76-yard catch and run touchdown, finished with three catches for 102 yards, and the defending NFC champions, who are now 3-3, who moved into a tie with Seattle, who fall to 3-3 for first place in the NFC West after an uneven start to the season. George Kittle added five receptions for 58 yards and two scores for the 49ers, who beat the Seahawks for the sixth straight time. Kyle Josiak had a late TD run, and he and Kittle both celebrated, their scores by leaping into the stands to embrace their wives who were sitting together in the first row. Matthew Wright, who joined San Francisco earlier this week to replace the injured kicker Jake Moody, who had a trio of first half field goals from 25, 41, and 35 yards. When everyone's on point, we're doing our thing. We are a hard team to beat, Purdy said. Geno Smith passed for 312 yards and a touchdown, but was intercepted twice, and the Seahawks lost their third straight after a 3-0 start under first-year coach Mike McDonald. We're just not doing things that good football teams do to win football games, and so we're going to attack. We're going to take a breather and really go back and dissect the heck out of this thing, McDonald said. 4 days after blowing a 23 to 10 halftime lead and losing to division rival Arizona, San Francisco fended off a second half challenge by Seattle, which got a boost from Leveska Chenault Jr.'s 97-yard kickoff return for a touchdown in the third quarter. After the 49ers punted, Smith led a 94-yard drive, and Kenneth Walker III scored from 1 yard out to get Seattle within 23 to 17 within 6. But Smith's second interception, this one by Renardo Green, set up Kittle's second TD of the game and a 29-17 lead for the Niners. Smith found Tyler Lockett for a 9-yard scoring pass with a minute 44 left to narrow the score to 29-24. San Francisco responded with Isaac Guerendo's 76-yard dash downfield that led to Josiak's 6-yard touchdown run. A welcome conclusion for a team that has struggled to finish games. We talk about it all the time, and it's something we have had to get better at this season. Purdy said, Coach always says, no matter what the score is, our offense should be able to put up points when our team needs it. Seattle struggles with the run game, continued with the teams finishing 20 carries for 52 yards by Walker, 32 by Walker. Smith was intercepted on Seattle's opening drive. The Seahawks were on the San Francisco 25 when the rookie safety Malik Mustafa pulled down a pass meant for Lockett. Jordan Mason, I said Jason Mason Thursday, but it's Jordan Mason, broke away for a 38-yard run on San Francisco's first series, but the drive ended with Wright's 25-yard field goal. Samuel pulled down nearly an early second quarter, pass from Purdy and shook off a defender for the 76-yard TD that put the Niners up 10-0. Samuel became the first receiver in NFL history with 20 or more rushing touchdowns and 20-plus receiving scores. Daryl Lutter Jr. Forced a fumble on the Seahawks kickoff return, and Tatum Bethune recovered on Seattle's 29, on the Seattle 29, excuse me, capped that drive with a 41-yard field goal. Wright's third field goal gave the Niners a 16-0 lead late in the second quarter, aided by a pass interference call that put the ball on the 2-yard line. Smith threw 3 incomplete passes before the Seahawks settled for Jason Myers' 20-yard field goal as the first half expired. Purdy found Kittle for a 10-yard touchdown to start the second half and then made it 23-3. Here's Baller Purdy said, I'm sorry for that little dead time there. Purdy said of Kittle, obviously when you get the ball in his hands, he can do what he can and break tackles, just explosive for a tight end. Mason, who left the game in the second quarter with a shoulder injury, later returned and finished with 73 yards on 9 carries for the 49ers as he continues to fill in for the injured Christian McCaffrey. Seahawks safety Rayshon Jenkins said, he's not frustrated yet. We have the right guys in the room to get the job done, and we just really have to be real and accountable. As long as we do that, we should be okay, Jenkins said. But it has to happen sooner than later. San Francisco quarterback Charvius Ward was a late scratch with a bruised knee. It was the first game Ward has missed since joining the Niners in 2022. Wright left the field shortly before the game ended after making a tackle on a kickoff return. And as expected, the Seahawks put offensive linebacker Yusina Nuzwiu on injured reserve with a thigh injury. Newsville missed the 4 games of the regular season with a sprained knee. He played just 20 snaps in Sunday's loss to the New York Giants before he was hurt again. Mustafa left the game in the first half with an ankle injury and did not return. And but this was one of those games where the opposing team just pulled away, and it was the 49ers. I got to give credit to where credit is due. I tip my hat to the Niners, but Seattle did try to come back, but it was not able. They were not able to get over that hurdle. Well, the Seahawks will be at Kansas City on October 20th in a Super Bowl rematch at Arrowhead Stadium against the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs, and the Seahawks are in Atlanta taking the Falcons at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. And those are both on October 20th, next Sunday. And right now, I got to give the game balls to the 49ers. Brock Purdy, 18 of 28 carries, attempts, 255 yards, 3 touchdowns. Deebo Samuel, 3 receptions, 102 yards, 1 touchdown. And it's Isaac Guerendo. Isaac Guerendo. Oh, I'm having a little technical problem. I am sorry. I apologize for my technical problems here. Uh, and Isaac Guerendo, I'm going to give you he gets a game ball as well. Uh, And Isaac Garendo, 10 attempts and 99 yards. So Seattle will have to regroup for their game against Atlanta, and San Francisco will try to go to 4-3 as well as the Seahawks will as well next week. And we have a bunch of games tomorrow for to continue Week 6 at 9:30 a.m. at Northumberland Stadium in London, England. The Jacksonville Jaguars and the Chicago Bears will be squaring off. The Commanders are in the Washington Commanders are in Baltimore at M&T Bank Stadium to take on the Ravens. The Arizona Cardinals are in Green Bay at legendary Lambeau Field to take on the Green Bay Packers. The Houston Texans are in Foxborough at Gillette Stadium to take on the Patriots. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are at Mercedes-Benz Superdome in New Orleans to take on the Saints. Our Cleveland Browns are in Philadelphia to take on the Lincoln Financial Field to take on the Eagles, which I'm not expecting the Browns to win that one. And the rounding out the early games, the Indianapolis Colts are at Nissan Stadium in Nashville to take on the Tennessee Titans. Now to the late games, the late afternoon games, which are the 4 o'clock games. The Los Angeles Chargers are at Empire Field at Mile High to take on the Broncos. The Pittsburgh Steelers are at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. The Atlanta Falcons are in North Carolina at Bank of America Stadium to take on the Panthers. The Lions are in Big D at AT&T Stadium to take on the Cowboys. Sunday Night Football. The Cincinnati Bengals are at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey to take on the New York Giants. That's Sunday Night Football. Monday Night Football on ESPN. The Buffalo Bills are at MetLife Stadium in East Rutherford, New Jersey to take on the New York Jets. So that's how football shapes up for this week. And just moments ago, a couple of hours ago, and about an hour ago, excuse me, and I wanted to bring this up, bring up a little baseball because the Cleveland Guardians are headed to the ALCS, the American League Championship Series, and as they beat the Detroit Tigers in Game 5 of the American League Division Series 7-3, and this was what a game, and this was the one that clinched it. And they snapped their 8-game losing streak of being eliminated in winner-take-all games. So, but it was and this is a scoring summary here. It was the top of the 5th. It was a scoreless till the 5th inning, and then Carpenter scored on a single to right, and Sweeney scored. It was a 1-0 Detroit. And in the bottom of the 5th, Jose Ramirez was hit by a pitch. Janemas scored. Kwan to third. David Fry to second. We were tied at 1. Jose Ramirez was okay. He did go back onto the field. And then Thomas homered to left on the first pitch. Stephen Kwan scored. David Fry scored. Jose Ramirez scored. It was 5-1. And that hit that Thomas scored was a grand slam home run in the bottom of the 5th inning. And that basically just, that was one thing that sealed it. And the top of the 6th, and that was, it was Lane Thomas hit that grand slam. Lane Thomas hit the grand slam home run in the bottom of the 5th. And the top of the 6th, Rogers singled to right, and Torkelson scored. Meadows to third. It was 5-2 Guardians. And then Keefe doubled to center, and it was Green that scored. It was 5-3. And then Lane Thomas hit an infield single to second. Stephen Kwan scored. Jose Ramirez to second, and it was 6-3. And then Brian Rocchio single to center. Janemas scored, and this was and when it was 6-3, it was bottom of the 7th. Bottom of the 8th, Rocchio single to center, as I said. Andres Janemas scored, and it was 7-3. and they were able to get the 3 outs in the bottom of the ninth, and that would send the division champions, Central Division champions, Cleveland Guardians, to the ALCS, the American League Championship Series, and Emmanuel Clase, he came in and he got the save. He did it. Heron got the win, and Scuba gets the loss, and because they did have they were and he was able to get that save that we needed. Yeah, the Cleveland Guardians are in the ALCS, and Game One they will be in New York for Game One of the American League Championship Series on Monday, October 14th at 7:38 p.m. So, looking forward to that. And way to go, Guardians! That's what I say to that. And that's just about going to wrap it up for the Scott Sports 101 Thursday Night Football post-game show. I'll be back tomorrow with the Scott Sports 101 Browns NFL early games, pregame show, and then postgame show after, and all the late and Sunday Night Football on Monday night, all of that. But until then, always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1, I'm done.